As far as I know, there's only one person there, but hi to the one person. So I just decided to stop in and do a little live so we can all catch up. And I want to give you an update on a new development with my surgery, which is coming up on the 21st. And also, of course, share with you my thrift haul finds. Hi, I've got two people here now. How are you doing? Waiting to see who's popping up. I've got my computer open, but I think I'm going to have to cover my face so that I don't have to look at that. It's so weird to see yourself there. I'm just waiting a little bit for some peeps to show up. Hey! Hi, KJ. Hi, Sandra, Skywalktress. Hi, Holly. Hi, Susie. Oh my gosh, it's great to see you guys. How are you all doing? Hi, Five Flames. Hi, you guys. Hi, Love. Oh my gosh, it's so nice to see you. I've had such a hard day, oh my god, and the week, it's been really awful. Ugh, but I'm happy to see you guys. How are you? What are you up to? I'm wearing an Aunt Flo shirt. I hope you like it. I just got this 70s shirt. I want to show you my thrift hauls, but hi, Muse. How are you? I got to tell you about my little change of plans with the surgery, though. I just wanted to wait till a few people came in. Hey, you like my top, Susie? Thank you. Look, it's super 70s. I'm like a super 70s chick now. 70s mom. Like hippie or whatever they had back then. Yeah, Paisley. It's Jones, New York. I don't think it's old, but it's super Paisley. I mean, it's kind of tight. There's a reason why I bought this shirt, though, other than that I like the look. Decluttering. Yeah, I'm like decluttering and then recluttering just as fast. So it's crazy. Yeah, I had a hard day. I want to tell you what happened. First of all, I'm vaping again. I tried to quit vaping. The day that I did my live, I was fine. I just didn't vape, and I was like, yeah, I felt a little edgy, but I was okay. And I didn't think it was going to be such a big deal. Well, you guys know I'm on the autism spectrum, and mostly what I suffer from is a lot of sensory problems. I'm going to try to explain this to you without it sounding like I'm complaining, because I'm not complaining. Let me just make sure my phone's plugged in. Oh, wait, let me just make sure this connection is working, because remember that one time where it didn't work? Yes, okay, it's working. I'm not complaining. I just want to let you know what happened. It was really bad. It took a lot out of me. I cried. It was horrible. I went to Costco. That's all I actually did. I struggle a lot with lighting environments and like sound and stuff. It's the worst for me. And usually Costco's not too bad because I know the store well. Some stores are better than others. Costco is sort of in the middle. But I went there, I guess with no nicotine in my system. I'm not really sure what happened, but it was extremely bad. I was so uncomfortable. I felt like uncomfortable all over my body. I felt like I was being tortured. It was like to the point where I felt like I wanted to jump out of my body. Like it was really bad. And I'm not just talking about like I don't like it or it's kind of too, it was really physical and it was so uncomfortable all over that I felt like I was going to start like rocking uncontrollably. I was getting the arm stiffening stims. I was like, I had no control over what was coming out of my mouth. It was, and you know what? Trying to keep myself together under those circumstances took a lot out of me because my natural self would have just been like rocking like Rain Man and doing my arms. The thing is, I just worry that people are going to think I'm on crack because it really looks like I'm crazy because I'm all like, yeah, like it looks like I'm on tweak, I don't think anybody would think I was autistic except when I do this. That's my like super autistic stem. So if I'm doing this and I mean, maybe they would think I was autistic or I was crazy or I don't know, or I'm on drugs. And I like to think, well, wait till you hear me talk. You're going to see that there's actually a normal person inside. But you guys, the struggle is real. But it was one of the worst sensory like overloads that I've had in a long time. And I'm thinking it's probably because with the nicotine, I was already a bit edgy. Wait, I just want to see if you guys are still there. And then put me in Costco. Like it was so bad that I was like, oh my God, it was like torture. Anyway, I got my stuff done. Now, like, you know what? Just having headphones on or having sunglasses, it doesn't solve the problem. Like I've tried those things. I don't know what it is. It's like the whole environment. It could be also like just the amount of stuff I'm looking at and the amount of decisions I have to make. I don't really know what it is, but it gets under my skin in like the worst way. And usually I can keep it together and I know my limits and I know how much time I have in the store, but in this case the limit was a lot lower. And it was really bad. So I left and I got in the car and I was like, "Oh my God, is this because of the lack of nicotine?" So I thought, yeah, this is pretty bad. Like I didn't realize it was gonna be like that. Although this has happened to me before when I was full of nicotine, so it's not exactly the nicotine itself, but it was sort of maybe a combo. I don't know. Anyway, I got home and I had some vape. And strangely enough, the feeling didn't go away. It was like it hurt all under my skin. It was horrible. And I thought, well, that's weird. I've been vaping now and I still feel horrible. Oh, maybe I'm hungry, because autistic people, sometimes we get our signals crossed and like we won't feel hungry, like your stomach is empty. You'll feel it like your skin hurts. So I'm like that. And I thought, maybe I'm hungry. So I ate some toast and I was so worn out. I went to bed and I had a nap for 2 hours. Aaron came up. I was making dinner. It was taking a lot out of me. I feel like everything takes a lot out of me lately. I don't know why. And Aaron asked me about my day and I like literally broke down crying and I was like, it was horrible. I had an overload. It was terrible. It was pretty bad. And I was like, I don't think I'm going to be able to quit smoking. So, and actually, I'm going to tell you why this relates to my surgery because it totally does. Because I'm supposed to quit vaping for the surgery, but I don't think I can. I was supposed to go to a birthday party that night, and even though I had a rotten day, I went to the party, and actually I felt okay at that point. And of course, I didn't drink. I didn't do any drug. Let's not say the whole word because we don't want to ruin the video. But anyway, I didn't do anything. I was sober, let's put it that way. Had a nice time. I saw a lot of old friends. Woke up the next morning feeling like I had a hangover. Tell me if this has ever happened to you. I woke up with pain in my shoulders and my neck and my head, and I felt like I was dehydrated and I was in pain. Now, what the heck is this now? So, oh my God, I'm getting older every day. Why do I have a hangover when I wasn't drinking? I don't understand. And it was bad, man. It was like so bad that I was like, I'm going to have to take a Tylenol. I thought, well, I'm going to sleep it off for a bit, see what happens. I had some Gatorade and I slept a bit and it was a bit better after. And I was talking to Laura and I was like, I don't know what's wrong with me. I feel like I have a hangover, but I didn't drink at all. I did eat a couple of oysters for the first time in my life. I don't think oysters can give you a hangover. But anyway, I felt like I had a hangover. And Laura said to me, were you standing a lot? And I was like, yeah, all night. And she says, that's why you feel like that. And I was like, what? I never heard of this. Nobody ever told me that standing for too long, dehydration. I don't think so. I was drinking soda water, maybe a bit of dehydration, but it was so painful. Laura the nurse, she says it's from standing. And I was like, oh my gosh, I had no idea. I don't go to a lot of parties and I don't usually stand around, but I was so motivated to talk to people that I kept standing and talking to them. Well, I learned my lesson. Heads up, don't stand too much. If you're over 50, you might feel like you have a hangover. So that's a side note about that day. The reason I'm telling you about the smoking, the vaping actually, and the sensory overload, let me just vape 1 second, is because I'm going to have my, oops, what's wrong with this? Why is it doing that? I'm going to have my implants removed, and they told me you have to quit vaping. Otherwise, it might not go well with the surgery. Because you need your wounds to close properly and you need the blood supply to be good. Otherwise, either the wound may not close and you're going to have like some open areas, which is bad, or worst case scenario, you might have some necrosis, as in like your nipples could die. Now, it's rare, right? But, rare is rare until it happens to you. Then it's not rare at all. Then it's you. Zoe wants to know how long I've been a smoker. Well, I think I started smoking when I was about 19. I mean, I did a few times in high school, but it wasn't a whole big thing. So like a really long time. But I quit smoking years ago, like 7 years ago, I quit smoke. And I used to smoke. And like, don't even talk to me about vaping. I would get really angry because I was convinced I couldn't quit. But the Lord helped me. One day I didn't feel like smoking anymore. And then I just managed to use the vape, and I haven't smoked in about 7 years, and I never intend to smoke again. I don't smoke, I just vape, and I use nicotine gum, like equally. Nicotine gum works for me too. I just need a little nicotine. Anyway, let's not get off on a tangent because you guys know I'm very prone to tangents. I don't need encouragement. But yeah, I've already had 3 surgeries on my breast. I had a breast reduction, followed by a scar revision, and then I had implants the next year, and this was all between 1994 and 1996. I had 3. I had some pretty big scars from the first one. I had the one where it goes around the nipple and then it goes down. I think they call it lollipop scar. So it's like this and like this and like that, or anchor. I don't know. Anyway, I remember the first time that I had that surgery, and I had a lot. I felt like I had Franken boobs. It was a lot of bruising. It was a lot of, stitches, and it was a long healing process. It wasn't that painful or anything, but it was a really long healing process. I had big red scars for years. They're totally faded now, though. So you don't even see any scars, except actually the ones that they did the first time that go like this and like this, that's completely faded. But when I had the scar revision, it was the bottom scar. And when the first time I had the surgery, I used Peruvian musk rose oil on my scars as they were healing, and they healed like super well. I went back. Hi, Tina. Hi, September Cajun, too, by the way. Hi, everybody. Hi, GTO, and hi, Kanga and Veg Remedy. Nice to see you all. So, yeah, the first time I used Peruvian musk rose oil, that is like the bomba for fixing your scars as you're healing. It's really amazing. It worked super well. When I went and had the scar revision, well, he tried to pull them down a bit because they kind of bottomed out. That scar underneath, I bought these expensive silicone pads to put on them, supposed to help it heal. Oh, congrats, Cajun, on quitting smoking. I spent a lot of money on those stupid pads, and I got horrible scars. Horrible. The silicone pads did not flatten my scars because I couldn't put any oil. I had to keep it totally dry to keep this. And of course, if you keep a wound very dry when it's healing, it heals harder, So I ended up with these big scars under my boobs. Part of those were revised again later. But basically, I have like no scars really on the front. I have scar underneath, and it's faded. But it was pretty ropey, Let's just say I've had a lot of scars, and I really don't feel like having a whole ton of new scars. And the other thing is my boobs are actually okay. Like I've told you before, the implant is up here. You see why it's like super pumped up here? It's not supposed to be. They put the implants all the way up here because this part was too hollowed out. This is all my own boob down here. And this is the implant. So if you move this, see, I can move this implant. That's an implant right here. Look at this. That's my boob down here. Okay, and that's my implant. It's up here heading towards my armpit. This is all implant right here. How crazy is that? That's my boob, and that's my implant. So what do I need to have a lift for? Because my own boobs over here are fine. If I take this implant out, it's just going to be all empty up here. And you know what? I kind of really don't care. I think that my boobs are okay. They have a really nice shape. They're really wide, and they have a really nice shape. There's nothing wrong with my boobs. I don't really want to mess with them. I don't think that I can handle it mentally, like psychologically, to have them all ripped open again. I feel like the skin has been traumatized before. And, oh, you have scars on your throat, GTO mama? Yeah, sorry to hear it. Oh no, did you have the thyroid out? My mom had some scars like that too. Yeah, like I went through it before. I don't feel like I'm up for it. I feel like psychologically, mentally, emotionally, whatever, I don't feel like I can cope with having all that cutting. And I don't want to do that to my boobs. And I thought, what for? Who's going to see them anyway? What do I care? I'm 52. What do I need to have titties up here for? Seriously, tell me, you guys, what do you think? I'm 52, okay? My boobs are down here where they're supposed to be at my age. This is all going to be gone. Look, there's my implant, and there's my boob. It's like a half a boob. There. What's the problem? Am I supposed to have boobs up here? Yeah, they make me sick. Yes. Well, I think so. I don't know for sure. Dennis, yes. So I'm getting the implants out. But what do I need to, because, the lift, they slice it all up and then they move everything up here. And I thought, come on, what do I need it for? Seriously, who's going to look at it? It's not like I'm doing OnlyFans, but there goes that option. That's off the table. Unless there's like a market for like saggy, deflated boobs. I kind of really don't care. I'm not the same person I was when I was 22. When you're young, I'm not going to be exercising my chest muscles to the point where I grow boobs, believe me. I did try that when I had my breast reduction originally, but it's not going to happen. You don't like grow that much. Anyway, whatever. Let's not go there. It's not going to happen. Yeah, when I was, it's a great idea, but like not for me. Let's be realistic. When I was 22, you think screw the lift, Susie? Maybe the sag would be exaggerated. I don't know, man. Like they're actually not even saggy. They're not saggy. You can fit maybe like 1 or 2 fingers under them. They're not saggy. I don't think they're going to be saggy. I think they're just going to look, they're not going to be saggy because they don't sag here. I think they're just going to be a bit empty up here. And so what if they flop a little bit? I mean, who cares? I honestly, I feel, and I'm thinking like, am I like lying to myself? Am I going to look in the mirror and go, shit, I should have had a lift? But you know what? I don't think so. I think I'm going to look at the mirror and I'm going to be like, damn it, why did I do that? Now I've got Franken boobs. Oh yeah, I'm getting rid of the implants. Oh, that's a done deal, Deaf Bread. I have my appointment on the 21st. I'm getting a bit nervous. You hate your boobs, September Cajun? I mean, like boobs come in all shapes and sizes. They don't all have to look the same. That's not what I thought when I was 22. When I was 22, I wanted to have boobs like other people had, but now I'm like, I think my boobs are good, like body positivity, right? Your mommy advice to as little as possible. I feel like I really don't want to have a lift. I want saggy titties. I just want like regular boobs. I don't think they're going to be horrible, but again, like, who cares, right? I am 52. Even women who have never had a single surgery at 52. Tina is so funny. Tina says mine are on the floor, Wild Kingdom style. And why not? Like, you can just rock that, why not? Yeah, Zoe, the most important thing is to get them out. But yeah, it seems like, at my age, like there's lots of women who are 52 who have never had implants, have never had surgeries, and they don't have perky titties. It's actually like not normal. And I feel like I don't have any need to have perky titties. And there's even young women who have saggy boobies, and it's okay. We don't all have to have perky boobs. And that my desire for perky boobs got me into a lot of trouble the first time around. Because I was like, they're too big and they're too saggy. Yes, they were also painful, but that would have maybe gotten better with time, But a part of it was, and people said vanity. And you know what, you guys, it wasn't vanity. It was literally like a kind of body dysmorphia. That's what I had, I really did suffer from sort of distorted body image. I was anorexic, so that'll tell you something right there. Anorexia is not a question of vanity. It's really like, it's a mental disorder. It's an obsessive compulsive disorder and a body dysmorphia disorder. I went from that to trying to get rid of my curves with surgery, let's just say. So it was more than just like, I want to be prettier than everyone else. It was really like me not accepting myself, even though there was nothing wrong with me. Oh yeah, did the implants affect sensations from being felt in the nipple? Okay, that's kind of wonky grammar, but I think I know what you're saying. So what you're asking me is, was a sensation affected? Yes, there was. It was. It took years for all the sensation to come back. After they cut all that, like your nerves have to regrow, and it wasn't perfect. It didn't happen right away. And I don't want that again. That's another thing. It did take years to come back. I was able to breastfeed though, which was kind of a miracle. Yeah, you too, Susie. You had, yeah, bulimia and anorexia. I had that in high school too. That was like a kind of result of a combination of I think for like a lot of girls, puberty and like your body changing so quickly is difficult, that you go from being like, you know, this agile little creature to all of a sudden having all these clunky curves and boobs and hips, and it's kind, for me it was kind of disturbing. Like it did, I wasn't adjusting to it well, let's just say. And I spent a lot of time trying to starve off all those curves. Um, yeah, you know, adolescence is difficult, and so then I was 22. I was out of adolescence, but I still had issues with it. But I don't have any issues now. I don't have any. I look at myself now. I'm fatter than I've ever been in my life, and I'm like, I look pretty good. You know, I think I look a bit old in the face sometimes, but I feel like my body looks okay. I don't. You know, it's not perfect, right? Like I'd like to be a little firmer, and I'd like certain things to be different, but not like before. I was so beautiful. You guys saw my picture. I was so perfect. I was like Instagram perfect. And I was so critical of myself, but that's how it is when you're young. Thank you, love, love. I look okay, you know. Sometimes I feel like I look a little tired, you know, but sometimes I am tired. So anyway, so what I'm going to do is, because I haven't been able to quit vaping, and because I seriously don't care if I have saggy boobs, I think I will embrace the saggy boobs totally and just rock them. I'm kind of thinking now, like, I wonder how Aaron's going to feel about it. Because when I told him I'm getting the implants out, he was like, "Are you still going to have your nice cleavage?" Then I'm going to tell him, you know, Aaron, I don't think I'm going to get the lift. And he's going to come out like the sock boobs, you know, tennis ball sock. Whatever. Not like he's perfect either, you know. Yeah, push-up bras. I can put padding. I'll work it out. The only thing is I don't want my nipples to be way up here. I'm gonna have to talk to the doctor if he can just sort of pull them down. Because the problem is, like, I had these big boobs, right? Like I'll explain again. I had big boobs, and when they did the reduction, they like took off all this. So it looked like they were halfway hollowed out. Well, actually they bottomed out. So I think they were okay to begin with, but the skin like just went bleh, and like they stretched out here and the nipple was up here, you know? I don't know. Honestly, at this point, I really don't care that much. I don't care. I feel like having them out will be like, I'll see myself in the mirror with my saggy boobs and I'll feel like, you know, I got through this. I got through all the crap that I went through before, and my damn implants are out, and I survived the surgery and healed, and now I can be healthier than I was because those stupid things are out. I don't think that it'll bother me at all. So I'm kind of stoked to go like natural way. Yeah, I'm Aries. Yeah, my birthday is like, what, next week or something? I don't really celebrate my birthday. You know, I hope I feel better. Actually, I recorded a video where I talked about all the dozens and dozens of, yeah, GTO it is, um, side effects or whatever, adverse effects from breast implants. When I read the list, and some of them are really bad. Like there's cancers are on there, several types, and all kinds of autoimmune diseases. And I'm gonna get it together and edit it and post it so you guys can have like a nice concise list if you're interested. But I couldn't get it done. I feel depressed actually. Now maybe it's the stress. I don't know. But yeah, like they're so dangerous. It seems like so many people have problems with them that some people were saying maybe they should be illegal, but I am a libertarian. There's the only thing about me that I'm very hardcore about, I think. I'm very much for personal freedom to choose. Even if that means sometimes people make choices that I don't agree with. And I think people should be allowed to choose if they want to put that in their body, but they should be able to make an informed decision. That's all. And I feel like they don't let us make an informed decision. And the crazy thing is, I've heard of women signing. Thank you, Susie, for the birthday wishes. Signing for consent for the implants, and they say you could get, you know, lymphoma, cancer, autoimmune this, lupus, that, whatever, fatigue, pain, arthritis. And they sign it, and then when they come back with those problems, the doctors will say, "Oh no, 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 it's not from the implants." Oh, thank you so much, Marshmallow. I appreciate it. Thank you for the super chat birthday gift. Thank you. Yeah, I look fine. Okay. I feel like I look okay. I feel like society judges you though as you get older. I think a lot of us know. Um, I mean, the older people don't judge you because they're old too, you know? Yes, Joey, I'm getting rid of my fake tits. Don't worry about it. I tried to do it like what 15 years ago. I mentioned in another video. I went to a doctor and I said I want to get them out, and he was like, "Well, if they're not bothering you, I wouldn't do it." Plus, he said it's going to cost $11,000. Oh, so that's the good news. Yeah, so he discouraged me. He was like, "Don't worry about it. Just leave them in. They're fine." And I don't know. I didn't have the money at the time. I actually this was Gunner was about 2 or 3 or 4, and no, yeah, he was about 2, and I did not have $11,000, and I couldn't even get the credit. Like my credit is a lot better now, so I can get whatever I want, I think, if I'm okay with getting in a massive amount of debt. But I can access the credit. It's not a problem. Uh, but at the time, no, I didn't have it. So I didn't do it, you know? And then I just kind of put on the back burner. And then when my mother had hers out and she went straight into dementia, that scared me. And I was like, oh, I don't know if I want to. And then I realized I'm going to have to do it now. Let's just hope that I come out of it okay. I'm just so done though. Like I got to just face this. So the good news is that it's going to cost less if I don't get the lift. And I don't want that lift. I really don't want it. But the good news is that I can use that money to later help reconstruct them, because if they're very deflated and the shape is really horrible, I can do some fat transferring down the road, which is what I wanted in the first place. I never wanted these, and I asked about that many years ago, and they talked me out of it. Talked me into getting silicone bags, you know. So that's the change, because I am not able to quit vaping, and also I don't want the trauma. I'm going to simply have them taken out and no cosmetic reconstruction. And then later I'm going to go back and see if I can transfer some fat, you know, just because I have an extra reservoir somewhere else where I don't want it. So I just like move it around, you know, and that apparently that works quite well. I mean, it depends like how they look. If they look totally fine and they're not deformed, I'm gonna do, like, for me it's worth it because look, you guys know I have this sausage. Let me show you my sausage. Okay, I have this like great little, I'm blessed with this little sausage right here. It's so crazy. Like the rest of me is okay, and then I just have this sausage like right here, and I think that this little sausage, like this literally here on the lower part of my stomach is totally normal. Everything else is fine. And then I have this, okay? And I think that God has given me this sausage so that I could like move it into my titties later in life after I get my implants out. It's just a sort of little extra. It's a sausage. I used to get Olga to roll the sausage and I can't roll it anymore. That's why it looks so bad, because I have hiatal hernia. And when she tries to do the rolling, it like it touches my vagus nerve or something. But I'm thinking I think I'd be up for that. I'd get rid of the sausage in one shot and just like transplant it. You know, like people do a Brazilian butt lift and they put their sausage in their ass. Well, I'm just gonna, actually doesn't sound good. I mean, they take the sausage and move it to their buttocks. Well, I might take the sausage and put it in my titties. And then that'll be it. And I'm not sure if I'm gonna do that, but it's a thought. And yeah, fat transfer, Kanga. I would like to do that. I think I'd be happy, and I think Aaron would be happy with it too. And I feel a lot better about that. And I think I have just enough that they can fix the, like, because it's a deformity. Like, I'm going to go back to the botched breast reduction boobs that I had in the first place, which is I've got this half of the boob and this half is like removed, and my nipple is like up on the top. It's crazy. It's like your boob is like this. He like just took out the upper part. Well, sort of. But that's what it looks like. So, I mean, that does, you know why it bothers me? There's a very specific reason, especially because since my boobs are all down here and there's nothing here, when I wear a bikini, it's like if I get a bikini that's big enough to cover the whole thing, the bikini is half empty. There's nothing up here, and it goes like this. And guess what you can see? You can see all my titties in there. And if I get a smaller bikini that fits the amount of tissue I have, the nipples are always out. I mean, there's worse problems in life than bikinis, but bikinis and bras. Yeah, I remember that was a problem, but whatever. First of all, I'm getting them out, and I have a consult the 13th to tell him I don't want to do a lift. I'm not going to do it. I can't cope with it, and I don't want it. Plus, I don't want my nipples to fall off. And that gives me a little more time to quit vaping. I'm going to work on it. I'm not going to do cold turkey. That was really bad experience. I didn't know it was so bad. I was like, oh my God, I'm like a drug addict with nicotine. But anyway, I'm going to like decrease the amount of nicotine that's in here. And then hopefully I can just peter it out. Kanga, you had a fat transfer for a spider bite that left your cheek deflated and it looks great. That's awesome. I'm glad it worked. Oh my gosh, you had one of those like brown recluse spider bites where like the whole thing like ulcerates. Those are horrible. 6 years without alcohol. That's great. Congrats. Oh, Quaalude Charlie. Did you make the switch? I love your name. Yeah, nicotine is so horribly addictive. Why? It's like you don't get high off it. What is it? But I feel like I have like a problem like focusing. Like I feel like I kind of have ADD and this helps me like somehow focus. You had nightmares when you quit? I had a nightmare. You guys know I've been living this sober lifestyle for quite a few years. And I told you, like, I do that so not only for myself, but also so I can help other people. And I went to that party and I woke up feeling like I had a hangover, right? Even though I hadn't been drinking, it was just from standing. And when I went back to sleep, I had a nightmare. I had a nightmare that I drank alcohol and it was a nightmare. It's terrible. Anyway, no booze for me. Only for Anita. Have you ever went for a bra fitting? Yeah, I've done it, but whatever. I'm not that kind of like high maintenance kind of girl that like goes for bra fittings. Lara's like that. Hi, Red Spiral. Oh, you're in Mexico. Oh, he's down in that Michoacan, man. How's it down in Mexico? They would give you nipples if that happened. If my nipples fall off, they would give me nipples. What? Tattooed nipples? Ah, I don't want tattooed nipples. And I also don't want numb nipples either. No thanks. Well, I have help at home after surgery. Well, that's a funny thing because I'm the one who helps people usually. My friend Isabel, my thrifting buddy, said she would come over and help me wash my hair. Bless her heart. So I figure, you know, I only need to wash my hair every 3 days or so. I'm only going to have like probably a couple of weeks. My friend Justin, bless his heart, he said he'll help me with the cleaning. And I'm going to get all my food in advance. Like I'm really good at menu planning. So it's not like I won't be able to cook. What I won't be able to do is this or even this. Like I'm only going to be able to like do things with like pterodactyl arms like this. So that's why I'm wearing this shirt actually, because I'm going to have to wear button-down shirts for a couple of weeks. And silly me, I gave my button-down shirts away to charity. I didn't think I needed them anymore. So I have only like 2 plus maybe Aaron's shirts. No, that's right, GTO. No, I can't lift anything heavy. Is Gunnar able to do grocery shopping? Well, he is. He's able to do a lot of things if you can get him to do it. That's the problem. He's demand avoidant. Gunnar can do everything. He's perfectly physically capable of doing dishes, of vacuuming. The problem is he doesn't do it. He doesn't. I don't think you guys understand. Like, he doesn't even go to school. Like he's in school. He managed to get on the honor roll not last session, but the one before, because he's very smart. But no, he doesn't drive because he hasn't studied for his learner's permit. Yeah, he was on the honor roll the first session, but that's not because he worked hard. He's really smart. He has like an IQ of 130. He has to do almost nothing to get a perfect A. The problem is he doesn't even show up. So he did that. That burnt him out. I mean, he got it. He got honor roll, even though he missed all that time from being in Europe, but we did some stuff at home. Then the second session, he was totally burnt out and missed 6 weeks of school. Like no one could get him to come in. Third session, he's been going in every day for half a day, and I thought he was doing okay, but I asked his teacher, how is he when he's here? And she says, oh, he doesn't do anything with us. What? Now you tell me? So he only did well the first session, And it's looking like he's not going to pass his year. No, he doesn't speak French. And that's because he gets very anxious when there's any kinds of demands on him. He just can't handle it. That's part of his autism issues, you know? So, I mean, I know he's like that. Sometimes he will help, but a lot of times you can't get him to do anything. Like even just showering, whatever, he needs a lot of coaching. And the thing is, he's not able to organize himself, but he doesn't like to take directions because that's a demand. So it's a tricky situation. But Aaron will probably help. Can he do homeschooling on PC? You know, well, if I facilitate it, yeah, but you don't know what it's like to try to get him to do anything. It's really difficult. You cannot even imagine. It's funny, I do have some footage from when I was trying to homeschool him. And I thought I might post that footage sometimes. I think at the time I thought, oh, let's not post it. People are just going to judge me. No one's going to understand why I'm posting this. I kind of feel like I should because I know I'm not the only one who has this type of kid. And it might be educational for some people. And, you know, he's doing well. He's okay. He plays guitar really well. But imagine he's 15 and like no one can do anything to get him to go to school. And I drove him there today. He walked in the school and right back out. And you know, you can't push him. Because if you like force him, you know what happens? He starts having migraines and he loses his vision. He really just can't handle stress. And he got off his medication. That was his idea. Social activities. He gets plenty of that though. Yes, friends. They're all autistic. Oh, Michelle, my surgery is on the 21st. Thanks for your prayers. And I'm not having a lift. That's what I was going to say. That's my update. I don't know what people are going to do for me. I've never been the one who needed all this help. I didn't arrange anything with the clinic. I figure, what are they going to do for me? I need somebody to clean up the rabbits. Gunnar will feed the rabbits. I can count on him for that. Cleaning the rabbits? I don't know. Maybe Justin and Isabel can help me. Maybe Gunnar will do it, but I'm not counting on Gunnar because he's not reliable. And I figure my house is going to be a mess and I might not have a lot of showers, but it's only for a couple weeks. I mean, it's not like you can't do anything after. Oh, I do have someone to take care of Aaron. That's done. No, they don't require it. Deaf breed. They better not. They don't. What do I need a nurse to change my bandages for? I've been changing bandages for almost 20 years. I'm like freaking expert. I could probably do a better job than they can. I mean, if I don't get the lift, right? Then I have less I only have a scar here. What's the problem? Spray it with some saline? I'm like an expert with changing bandages. I have all the good stuff. I don't need somebody to do it, I don't think, unless I'm totally delusional. But it's not like I'm going to be so sick that, you know, oh, I'll be jacked up on morphine for a couple of days. I'll be probably feeling fine changing my own bandages. Yeah, I saw your question, Marshmallow. Yeah, he has sometimes little girlfriends. Well, you know, there's nothing that says I can't cook. I can cook in advance and put it in the freezer. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to make myself spaghetti sauce and make my Indian stir fries. I don't know what the problem is. I can't imagine how cooking is a problem because it doesn't involve any heavy lifting or any like, I'm not going to be like lifting heavy pots of boiling water like Nona making a big batch of gnocchis or nothing. I know, okay, Deaf Bread says, I know someone who had a circumcision and had his bandages ripped off by a nurse. Yes, I've heard of terrible things happening with home care. I do a good job. I will not hurt anybody. I know that, but I don't always trust other people. And actually, when I've had to leave and get someone to do stuff for me, like to replace me doing the home care, and I have to explain to them how to do the bandages. Yeah, sometimes even at the clinic, when I see them doing the bandages, I'm like, not like that. I just shut up, Sonia, telling myself, don't say anything. Just let them do their job and then go home and redo it properly. How do I mask being autistic? I don't think I mask being autistic. I think that I've just learned how to have good manners. That goes a long way. I've learned to try to listen to people and not do all the talking, not talk only about what's on my mind and my interests. I don't think I mean, do I mask it? Like I explained before how I went to Costco and had a total sensory overload, and I felt like I needed to like rock, and my arms were, I was getting all these stims and stuff. I felt like a soda bottle was going to explode, you know. I was stifling it. It took a lot out of me. I went home. I had to vape. I had to eat. I had to nap. I woke up. I cried. That's how did I mask it? Sort of. I mean, I didn't look like I was flailing around on tweak. I didn't do a very good job covering it up altogether. But I mean, yeah, I struggle with that. You know, and like there's different parts with the autism. You know, some people it's more sensory, some people it's more social, and it's like intractable. I know people like that. Some people the communication is really bad, but in other ways they're really good socially. I think I'm a bit annoying. That's probably my social problem. Communication, I have issues with. I have something they call circumstantial speech, which means I'm not able to be concise. I use way too many words. I can't help it. It doesn't matter how hard I try. I'm not able to do better. It makes me look like I like to talk a lot. It's not that I like to talk a lot, it's that I'm not able to organize my speech into something short and sweet, you know? It's not a bad thing when you're on the radio because you're supposed to talk for a long time, but in real life, it's kind of like, it comes across like you talk a lot, and which makes it seem like you like to hear the sound of your own voice or whatever. It doesn't go over well. So I do have a speech problem, like a communication problem. Some social issues, but sensory for me is the worst. You would have never known or guessed I had, well, you know, yeah, you don't really know me, I guess, and you see me a bit on the internet, but, you know, I mean, if you live with me for a week, you'd probably be like, oh, yeah, I can see. Aaron, stop calling me. I told him I was going live. Ugh, and he calls me anyway. He needs to stop that. Well, that's the thing, you know, you guys, when you say I do well for an autistic person, well, pretty good. I mean, I do have a roof over my head, and I've managed to like pay my bills and keep myself out of trouble, but I struggle a lot. Like, I feel like what I do takes a lot out of me. Like, and so I'll push forward to do some things, and then I'll have to like really pull back. Like if I did those things, I can't also interact with people or go into places like Costco. I have definitely like limitations that I have to respect. I can't do like whatever. A lot of people, like, you know, they'll get up, get the kids to school, work a whole day in an office or something, and then interact with people after work. Sometimes they even go to the gym or they go out and they do stuff on the weekend. I have a lot of like burnout moments, you know, which you don't see because I don't really show up when I'm burnt out. Although I am burnt out today. I was feeling just horribly depressed and drained and feeling like I can't anymore. Like my house is a mess. I can't cope with it. I can't put makeup on. I can't deal with a lot of things. I'm saving up my energy to take Aaron to court tomorrow. But yeah, I mean, you can't see it. It's like someone who's dyslexic. You can't really see what they struggle with, you know? I push forward, but I pay the price, man, Susie, though. I really do. Like when I set up the Poshmark, I had a lot of motivation and I pushed myself to like put all my listings up. I took all those pictures, I put all listings up, totally burnt out after that. Today I went to see my mom. That's always very relaxing. I went to the thrift store, which brings me to my next thing. I wanted to show you my thrift haul for like a couple of weeks of thrift hauls. I went to see my mom, and I had been to the thrift store and I bought her a bunch of really cute shirts. I still have to get her some other things though. But my mom has something weird going on. I could post a picture like as a post so you could see. She has like, she's getting these huge bruises, but like really big, huge black, blue, like dark bruises. And in here she had like several, and they told me she had a blood test, but there was a band-aid here. And I was like, well, if it's a blood test, why does she have it here and here? And why are there blue marks where there's no veins? Like, it doesn't really make sense. I've seen what it looks like when you do a blood test and it blows out the vein and it gives you like a big, huge blue, purple. Aaron had that. But my mom, it looked like actually a thumbprint and like 3 fingers, like, and she's so small that someone's hand could literally wrap around, and it was symmetrical. It looked like someone had grabbed her by her 2 arms. And I mean, they could have maybe grabbed her rather gently to help get her in the shower or something. Yeah, they look like fingerprints, Tina. They totally did. There's thumbs and there's like 3 fingers. It looked like a handprint. And they were like, oh, it's because she had a blood test. But I was like, well, why? And they're like, well, they tried to do them here and it didn't work, so they did here. And I was like, I don't know. It sounds like BS to me. And they look like fingerprints. I talked to them today and I was like, look, I'm not saying somebody did this maliciously, but she's very fragile. She bruises very badly, very easily. She had a blown blood vessel in her eye and there was no injury. Like, she wasn't hit in the eye. It just blew. And it could be that somebody just grabbed her arms gently, sort of, maybe a little firmly. And she just like her capillaries just disintegrate. So if you saw her arm right now, it looks like Night of the Living Dead. I mean, and both her arms, like, she's got big blue here and then it's black here and the other one. And then she has one on the back of her leg, which is weird. I was like, come on, you guys. Nobody hits the back of their leg. How is she going to hit? There's nothing to hit the back of her leg on. It could be from literally just sitting down. Yeah, Louise, you know, of course, that's the concern I have, that someone's manhandling her. But I think it's also possible that she's developing some kind of problem with her circulatory system. Because, yeah, it looks like something's wrong with her, you know. We're going to find out. She had some blood tests. Yeah, and it's weird because a lot of times it'll be like on the back of her hand. When you hit yourself, you hit like this. You don't hit like this. GTO, I don't know. Love, what age was I diagnosed? 42. Usually, like, when you have a bruise here or here, it's a defensive wound because you were like this, you know? I don't know. I can't. Well, Tina, I mean, this happened before, but it wasn't the staff, it was the residents. Candace, yes, she did. I think about 5 times. That wasn't my call. I know some of the staff there and they're really nice people, but they can have like somebody who comes in, like an orderly who like gives somebody a shower who's not so nice. It's possible. Or it could be another resident. That's what it was at the other place. It wasn't the staff. It was another resident. You know, September, that's a good idea to put a nanny cam in her room. I do surprise visits all the time and there's never anything going on. She's always totally fine. I don't think it happens in the room, though. I suspect that it's going on when they're giving her a bath because she can fight. She doesn't like sometimes what they're doing. Let me just check my battery. Oh, okay, it's still good. Yeah, I think it might be like a problem of like getting her in the shower or something if it's with the staff. Otherwise, it's probably with the resident. She like wanders into people's rooms, maybe pisses off another resident. Anyway, so I went to the thrift store. I'll show you a picture sometime. I went to the thrift store and I bought her t-shirts, and I bought myself my Aunt Flo Paisley shirt for my button down for when I have my surgery. And I also got this shirt, which is super cute for summer. I need some new shirts. My clothes are getting super old. And I want to show you, though, what I got last week. Okay, so I'm going to do you another little thrift store haul. You're going to like this, though, you guys. You won't believe what I found. I found it on Marketplace. I could actually just go like this. That might help. I don't know. You're going to love this. Look what I found. Okay, so I had this great... Okay, Joan. I'm trying. I'm not smoking. I'm only vaping. Don't exaggerate. I'm doing what I can. All right. I had this fantastic sewing basket from my mother that I've used because I do sew. You know, I fix things a lot, and I'm really good at it. Let me just brag for a second. So I mean, not like sewing clothes from scratch, not that kind of sewing, but I'm very good at like mending things and like Oh, I've done some work on Erin's clothes where, you know, the clothes were hoboed out and I completely replaced the zipper and it looks so new. And I'm like, look at it. It looks perfect. You can't even tell, you know? So I do love my little kit of all my sewing stuff. I'm very proud of all my Gutermann threads and stuff. My sewing basket cracked and I found this gem on Marketplace. Look how cute it is. It's so old. It's so vintage. And it's Bakelite. It is a little, like, this is a bit broken here. And then it's, you see, it has a handle. Let me just, maybe I'll aim it down a little bit more. Can you guys see that? You see my cool sewing basket? It's cool, eh? Yeah. I found this on Marketplace. I love it so much. And look, you can see there's like a pattern in here. And then, because it was the same as the one I had before, my tray fits in it. So I was able to put the tray in here because it didn't come with a tray. But what a score. I found the same thing. And I put my tray in there. And I'm very happy to have this nice mustard yellow Bakelite sewing kit. It's perfect. So the thing was, the guy wanted $25 for it, which is, you know, it's a good price. But on top of that, he was selling it with like a whole bunch of other things. He wasn't even like selling that just by itself. It was like objet vintage, and it was like a bunch of different things, and he wanted 25 bucks for the whole lot. And I was like, dude, I'll take your sewing basket. I'll give you whatever you want, and I'll take all your crap. So let me show you the crap that came with it. So there's this, which I don't want. Not really. It's coasters, like metallic color, whatever. It's just, I don't know. I still have it for now, but I don't need it. I'll probably get rid of it. I do love Bakelite, Sandra. Yeah, it is organized. Oh my gosh, you guys, maybe let me just do a little tangent because my sewing kit is so awesome. And like, I still have like all these cool vintage things from my mom. How cool is that? It's like from the 50s. Or maybe early 60s. I don't know, man. It looks pretty 50s to me. So I've got like a bunch of vintage things. Let me show you. So we'll just do a little detour into the vintage sewing stuff. So I totally reorganized it. And like, look, I put all the vintage things in here. How cool is that? Personally, I don't need vintage, but I know that there are some people who sew vintage clothes and they like to use these kind of things to make it like really authentic. Look, it's new and it's so old. Singer needles. What's up for the machine? This is like super old. How cool is that? Colonial made. I don't think it would have that name now, eh? And then there's this, super old. Okay, I love this stuff. I mean, I don't know how you feel about it, but... And then, of course, I have some of these from the 70s. I have a lot of those, actually, but they're not all new. What's this? Dressmaking steel pins. And mending kit, threads. Like a lot of stuff in here. Hooks and eyes, and a lot of different buttons. And, you know, I went through my mom's sewing kit. I only did it recently. I went in there and I really totally like reorganized the thing. She was kind of messy in her sewing box. She had a lot of little snips of things. So there's that, and well, I don't know where it is. I have like a whole bag of like vintage buttons here. I got more vintage stuff. I'm not sure where it is. Oh, this is some vintage things in here too. Buttons and stuff like that. What's this? Oh no, that's just like from a hotel. I don't know, but I have like 2 bags full of like vintage sewing notions. So that's pretty cool. I thought you might like to see them. I'm going to put this away. And I want to show you what the sewing box came with. Because like I said, he was selling it with the, you have some of your grandma's vintage, oh, the vintage button jar. Oh, cool. This is not closing very well. Okay, so here's some of the stuff that it came with. Okay, so there was this, which I don't want. And then there was this. These bottles, like, people pay a lot of money for these things. It's a vintage, it's Corby's. I'm not sure if it was rum or whiskey, but it's from the 1960s. Oh, no, my mom's not locked in her room, Joey. No, she's out and she's moving around now. That was only, like, when she was in quarantine. Yeah, it's a decanter. Isn't it nice? It's got cork. I mean, yeah. It's from the 60s, though. There's one version that's from the 40s, which has a little different pattern. Yeah, decanter. So that's cool. So I got that basically for this, you know, within the $25. And here's another thing. Do I sell paintings? Like this? Like the one I did of my mom over there? I don't know if you can see it. Can you see it? That's the portrait I did of my mom. No, I've never really like done painting on commission. I guess because I don't know. Maybe because I'm a weird autistic person. I like to do things on my own time. Or if you mean like, do I buy and resell paintings? No, I never did that. I mean, you can always message me if you have something you want me to do. I mean, you can message me at Yahoo. It's the truthergirls@yahoo.ca. But honestly, I don't really use that one that much. You can message me on Facebook, the Truther Girls, or on Patreon. Also, patreon.com/the Truther Girls. That's probably the best one because I check those a lot. Thanks, you guys. Art takes a lot of time. And I used to make a lot of art because I did a Bachelor of Fine Arts. And it's like, it takes up time and space. And it's expensive. Cigar box. It's very old. Let me open it. El Producto. I guess it's Cuban. Oh, it doesn't smell like cigars. It smells like old lady perfume and with a hint of basement. So I got that. That came in there. Oh, you too, you have a BFA, Lady Liberty? Well, it's not completely useless. I mean, I'm still a pretty creative person. You guys saw the jewelry I made. So it came with that. And also this butterfly from Zambia, I think. Oh, Zaire, sorry. Oh, do I see paintings for sale? I do. I'd probably be able to make a good call on whether it was worth buying it too. But I haven't gotten into that. My mother was totally into buying paintings at thrift stores and those kind of places. She had quite the collection. And some of them were kind of valuable. No, yeah, I'm on Telegram, but I don't have like a channel, you know. So, basement smell like grandma's attic. Oh, maybe it was the attic, not the basement. I think you're right. Could be the attic. So there's the butterfly. What can I do with it? I don't know because, yeah, it's a cool thing. It's not the kind of thing I'd usually have. I'm kind of anti-knick-knack because it takes up space. And I don't think I can sell it on Marketplace because they're probably going to accuse me of selling animals. All right. Oh, Lorraine says vaping is worse than smoking. Maybe I should start smoking again. Maybe I'll take up cigar smoking. And I'll keep them in my Cuban cigar box, El Producto. Check this out. I don't think the guy even knows what this is because he gave it to me for 25 bucks for all that stuff. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, but the coasters are worth nothing. Yeah, look at this. This is a vintage perfume bottle, mid-century. That's crazy. These things are really valuable. I don't know. I guess I'll save it for when I get my nerve up, when I recover from my burnout from opening my Poshmark, and I get my mojo back, and then maybe I'll go and open an Etsy because right now I just can't deal with anything. I'm just too. I just don't have a very low threshold, I guess, and it's just too much. I need to deal with all the other stuff like just cleaning and like take it easy for a while. But this is amazing. And see how it's got all those colors in it? This particular kind of decanter is very unusual. It's from the 60s. It's from a particular brand. I have seen them with the sticker still on them, but this one doesn't have the sticker. But still, It's very special. So, I mean, I paid 25 bucks for the sewing kit, and I got all this extra stuff, which is pretty cool. You know, I'm taking good care of it. Okay, so then I did a thrift haul today when I went to get my mom some clothes. GTO, you found a Lalique perfume decanter for $4 at the thrift store. Is that worth a lot of money? 50 for the perfume bottle, maybe 80? Yeah, it's like something like that, you know? Perfume bottles, and especially the spray ones, those are very prized these days. They're hard to find. Oh, yeah. eBay, yeah, you can see the sold listings. Yeah, you're right. Vaping is not as bad as smoker told me that. It was Lorraine. She told me that. Well, I do chew nicotine gum, too. I don't know anything about Lalique. But yeah, it's a thing, right? Perfume bottles? But man, like, what a score, you know? Because I was feeling kind of bad. I was like, I keep spending as much as I'm making. So, like, I don't know. Like, where is this going? This is like a fun hobby. I think now I'm more in the green because I sold necklaces and some extra other stuff. But then again, like the necklaces, it didn't even cover all the beads. But I have so many beads. Like, I don't know. I feel like it's okay. I have to be careful though. Sometimes I'm like, oh my God, am I losing my mind? I keep buying more things. Am I really selling enough to like make this justifiable, or am I just like buying tons of junk? You know, like, do you ever like kind of wonder about yourself and you're like, am I going crazy? Is this normal? You know, I'm having a good time, but I don't know. It's kind of. You do, Sandra? A Velvet Elvis. Oh, really? That's pretty, like, classic kitsch. Velvet Elvis. So, this week's thrift haul, which was today, I got some shoes for me and also for reselling. And I got this. What do you think? I mean, it has that classic 1950s shape. And it does have this. It's pretty 50s. But the way the ceramic is... And this is like, you know, it's ceramic glaze fired. I mean, it's brown, but then these are like the raised bumps of like the shiny glaze. Okay, the shape is very 50s. It screams 50s. Even this, but I kind of get the feeling that it's retro. It's not really from the 50s because there's something about this glaze that doesn't seem like it's authentic. I think it's like, let me know what you guys think. Belongs in a 60s house. Yeah, it has the atomic age shape. And the triangles also. And the colors. The pastels. But something about it tells me it's not 50s. It's not authentic. I think it's 1980s. I think. I mean, just the kind of ceramic it is. It doesn't... How do I know that? I don't know. But there's something about the ceramic itself that I don't think it's old. I think it's just retro. No, there's no writing on it. And I couldn't find anything on it. You know, it's handmade though, I think, because there's like marks here. There's like scratch marks from like a palette knife or something. Oh, so I guess they make it like a round thing and then they push it in. I don't know. It's very smooth here. Maybe it's not. Maybe it's machine made. I don't really know, but let me know what you think. No, there's no writing on it. I checked it. Hi, Dawn. Yeah, glad that you made it. Yeah, I've been hanging around for a while, you know, enjoying everybody stopping in. Wait, what, Sandra? What do you think? I don't think it's old, eh? What do you think? It looks like... Yeah, like I said, retro, but not actually vintage. I don't know, though. It's pretty atomic in every other way, other than the kind of ceramic. Look at it. It's very, very smooth. It looks like modern ceramic. Of course, uranium glass, yeah. But I'd be scared of it, because doesn't it have uranium in it? Like, how do you drink out of it? Didn't they all get cancer from uranium glass? I wouldn't want to have that in my house. It's like radioactive. It glows in the dark. And everybody's crazy about it. Anyway, if someone can answer that question, does uranium glass give you cancer or something? Crystal is lead. Yeah. It doesn't look 50s, eh? It looks like it's retro. The cobalt, yes. And like when I was in art school and we were using all these pigments in our paint because we were using these expensive paints. Oh, uranium glass is safe? Yeah, radium girls, like, right, yeah. Well, tell me more, Dave. I'd like to know, how is it safe? Yeah, and we used cobalt blue, and it was like, make sure you don't lick your brush, because artists have a terrible habit. We'll paint, and then we'll lick the brush to get a finer point. Man, I did that way too many times. Not with cobalt blue, though, I knew, but I did it with titanium white. That's also bad. Um, and yeah, there's all these other pigments, ochre, and yeah, there was the burnt sienna pigment. What was the black one made? I don't remember. There was a Mars black, iron oxide black, titanium white, toxic. Yeah, Lady Liberty. There's the ultramarine blue and the phthalo blue, but the cobalt was the one that, like, we all knew it was really toxic. And there was a dioxazine purple. I'm not sure if that one had a warning on it, but all these chemicals, right? All these pigments in our paints. And here we are, like, painting and licking. Ah! But I'm still here. So far, so good. I'm a little tired, but I don't think it's because of the paint. Oh, I have a couple of cobalt blue glasses. Anyway, so I don't know. I think it's retro. I'm going to just say it's retro. I don't think it's vintage. But it's still cool. What do you think? It's got the atomic shape. If somebody likes retro. Okay, I'll show you what else I scored today. What's this? Yeah, Dawn says radium is highly radioactive. Well, that's what I thought. Of course, yeah. But, like, what about, Dawn, when it's inside glass? If my finds don't sell in a year, I redonate. Yeah, I've done that too. I've ditched some things. But, I mean, I haven't been, like, buying things to resell for that long. So, I don't know. Have I ever redonated something? No, I haven't done it yet because I haven't been at it long enough. Because all my other stuff, it was stuff that I bought that I was putting up to sell, but if they don't sell within a certain time, I just give them away. So I've done it with my own stuff, but not with stuff that I bought, you know. All right, well, this was my score of the day. I thought this was pretty cool. Juicy couture shoes. They're too small for me, though. I bought them just to resell. But they're really nice. I put them on Marketplace. Those bastards better not give me a hard time because they're legit. See? And they make a clinking sound. And they're clopping shoes too, though. Clop, clop, and clink, clink. Musical shoes. They are cute. And if I was a 7, I would wear them. But I couldn't just leave them there. Oh yeah, mercury fillings. They're size 7. And they're so good. Look, they're actual patent leather. They're real deal. I've seen them selling online for like 50 American on Poshmark sold. I put them up for 50 Canadian, but people always want a discount, you know, but still. So I'll make a small profit. It's okay. They're pretty cool. They're like ballet style, but with a little heel, and the heel has gold. And believe it or not, there's no like scuffing of the gold. Like, it's pretty much intact. And then here it says smells like couture underneath, but it's a bit faded. They're pretty cute. And they're on my Poshmark. 8 medium? Wait, what does it say? Yep. 7 mediums. No, it's not 8 medium. It's 7 medium. Made in Italy. So that's the ones I got. And I found these and I was like, oh my God, these are Eddie Bauer. You guys, I found the store where the rich people ditch their stuff, because I was going to Renaissance, and Renaissance, like, all the donations go to like a centralized place and they get spread all over the city. But I found a store where I think like people go and they give directly and then it goes directly on the shelves. So if you go often, you find things that are good. So I found these. See, it says Eddie Bauer. They're super cool little spring boots. I think that they're too small for me though. Yeah, they're a 7 as well. So I have to sell them, but I couldn't leave them there. They're like really soft suede and they're good, but I think this is the reason they were in the store. Over here, this stitching came out. just right here. What the heck is that? Huh. Yeah, so stitching came out, but I'm really good at sewing. Like, I have that big sewing kit, as you know, and I could fix this. I already fixed part of it. Like, it was undone till about here, and I fixed it. But look, the part that I fixed, you cannot tell. You see that? You can't tell where their stitches were and where mine are. Can you? No. I'm like a human sewing machine. So yeah, I'm gonna have to like fix this right here, and it will be undetectable. No, I want to use. Oh, really? You found Manolo Blahniks for $5? That's amazing. Do they fit you, or are you gonna sell them to somebody else? Those are expensive shoes. It's like Christian Louboutin. I saw some horrible Louboutins on Marketplace. They're totally destroyed. And they're selling them. I mean, really, like the whole, like the heel, the spike of the heel was like all stripped. It's like, why would anybody buy? Tell me what is so special about these shoes. They just look like regular shoes to me. And they look like they're all magani, as we say around here. Oh, they're your size. Okay, great. So yeah, I'm going to fix this. And they're perfect. But so, I mean, look at them. They look like they haven't even been used. Like they're like new. So some rich lady bought them, realized that like a little bit of the stitching came out, and she's like, oh, I'm gonna give them to charity. Along comes me, sews it up, puts it back on the internet. That's how this works. It's like an ecosystem. Oh, they're so nice. I can't stop touching them. It's the suede, but it's like butter soft, like the best kind of suede. They're so nice. They look so new too. Anyway, so those are fancy Eddie Bauer shoes. And then I found these. These are just so nice. And they're new. They have tags on them. They're called Wind River men's slippers. So that was a score. And the original price tag's on there for $40. I paid less than that. Yeah. And so they're up on Poshmark. I need money, you guys, because I need to have my boobs, my implants out and all this stuff. So, I really do. And I went traveling last year, and I need to make some money. So let's hope that this investment pays off. Okay, so then I think these are just for me. They're Croc heels. They're size 8. They're like new. Look at them. Selling, buying, recycling. Yeah, I know. I just don't want to have too much stuff in my house. How much am I selling those shoes for? I put these up for $25 on Poshmark. But you can only buy them if you're in Canada. Because it's Poshmark. See, that's a problem. Because I have all this cool stuff, but I can't sell to you guys through Poshmark because a lot of you are in the States or in England. But if you want something, you can just message me on Facebook, or you can email me. You know what? Screw it. It's only you guys watching this. I'm going to give you my Gmail address. It's thetruthergirls@gmail.com. Surprise! Just message me at my Gmail if you ever want anything. The other one? Which other one? What? This one? I put this one up for $50 Canadian on Poshmark. And I put those up for $25. These Eddie Bauer ones, I don't know yet. I haven't finished fixing them, and I want to make them perfect. But these are expensive shoes. I'm not sure what I'm going to sell them for. These ones I bought for me, but if I was going to sell them, I'd sell them for like $20. They do fit. They're Crocs, so like they're pretty cool, and they're so new. Okay, this I got for myself because you guys, I had only like, the Eddie Bauer ones. I don't know yet because I have to check like what they're worth. I don't know. I usually sell them for like 50% or less, depending. Like I have some very high-end summer what do they call them? Like platform espadrilles? No, Dave, they're women's shoes. Yeah, that's what I was wondering. Like, why are you asking me? Yeah, they're women's shoes. They're size 7 women's. I wish I could wear them. 75, you think? Well, on Poshmark, you always have to like mark it up a bit because they take 20. And then plus you have to like give it, you know, I give a discount, 10% if people bundle. Plus I always give extra discounts. So if I put it for 75, by the time we're done with all the discounts, it'll be 50 and then I'll take home 40. So I have to mark them up a little bit. Otherwise I end up with nothing. Yeah, they're women's shoes. These I could sell on Marketplace, I think locally, but later in the year, not now. I kind of bought, because people are dumping their winter shoes. Yeah, they're too small for me. People are dumping their winter shoes, so I thought, okay, I'll buy a few if they're really good. And the slippers too. They're so nice. I wish I could wear them. I want to get Aaron some good slippers. Look. Where are they? I showed you these before. These are really nice. They're Lamo. It's sheep suede with like fake fur inside. I kind of like hesitated because they're not really Aaron's size. I don't want to give him small shoes because he's prone to like getting sores and who knows what. But I haven't done anything with them yet. I haven't listed them either. Male Gucci, Prada, or Hugo Boss? Oh yeah? For a man? What size? I'll keep an eye out because I know where to go now. I've got the hookup. What size are you, Dave? You know what though? There's a thing where these oh, UGG make good slippers. Oh yeah, of course. And they make some heels too. I saw some UGG heels and I was like, is that a thing? Yeah, these moccasins are so good. Well, I'm not selling them now because they're all winter shoes. I'm gonna think about it. Because the thing with Aaron is like, there's no point if I give him this shoe. First of all, it's too small for him. But also, like, he's gonna destroy it immediately. Oh, you're an 11? Okay, I'll keep an eye out. Aaron like destroys everything like really fast, so it's kind of no point like giving him like high-end things because they're gonna get destroyed. He needs to like go through like multiple, you know, lower end shoes. Like they'll be completely I gave him a pair of really nice hiking boots. I forgot the name, but like one of those fancy hiking boots that rich people wear, and they're totally destroyed. Plus they giving him sores on his feet. So, you know. But anyway, oh wait, there was one more thing about the shoes. I can't remember what it was. Oh yeah, I was gonna say, Dave, you know, there's this thing about the thrift stores that when people bring something like Prada or Hugo Boss or what was the third one? Gucci. The thrift store people grab them. They never get on the shelves. But if I ever see them, I'll remember. Prada, Gucci, or Hugo Boss. Yeah, the Hugo Boss I think maybe could end up on the shelves. For the most part though, they wouldn't even let that get on the shelves. Post and packaging to Scotland? You know, I don't know. I'd have to look into it. I know it's about $25 to the US for like a small package. It's not cheap. The cool thing about Poshmark is inside Canada, it's $15. Like I could send you these shoes for 15 bucks. Postage, plus I usually give a bit of a discount. I'll give like $10 postage on Poshmark. Oh, my rainbow unicorn slippers died. I have no slippers right now. I'm looking for slippers for myself, and I keep finding like really excellent men's slippers, and they're the wrong size for Aaron though. What size? Oh, these are a 10. I don't know. I'm thinking about it. I'm gonna find some that are right for him. Okay, these are the ones I got for myself. Look, these are so cool. Yeah, so the thing is, like, all I had was my Uggs, which are starting to look hobo, believe it or not. And I've been wearing them all winter. Well, I don't have them here, but anyway, I've been wearing those. And I literally had no other boots or anything that I could wear in the winter. So if I went to church in my nice dress, I had to wear these big clunky Uggs. Oh yeah, if you send me a donation on here, yeah, YouTube takes a cut. It's like that everywhere, yeah. Yeah. I mean, I do have PayPal. I just don't like advertise it a lot, but there's a button on my channel banner, like if people want to donate. But I don't like to be here passing the Starbucks cup. I just tell people, like, if you want to support my channel, join my Patreon, because the cool thing is, like, it helps us keep in touch as well. But yeah, you can donate on PayPal for sure. And if ever you want to buy shoes for me, that you just pay through PayPal too, you know, and it works out that way. Email me at thetruthergirls@gmail.com, which I never gave that address out before, but it's kind of a no-brainer, right? But I just didn't want like a whole ton of mail in there. I was trying to keep it clean. So I was using the Yahoo address, but I never open Yahoo. I never check it, and it's just a pain in the butt. Patreon is great because it's just people that I know from YouTube on there. Well, yeah, you can donate on Patreon. It's a pledge though. So like let's say you want to pledge $25, you can pledge it. I mean, you can pledge $1 and join the Patreon for $1, $5, $10, whatever you want to give me, right? But even for $1, you can join, so you always get notified when I come live, you know, so you don't go, oh, I missed a live, I didn't know, because you'll get notified through Patreon. But if you wanted to like donate $20, you can donate through there, and they're not going to take 30%. It's like a super small, like a minimal little thing for the processing. That's not that much. They'd probably go out of business if they took 20%. Everybody go somewhere else. What? No, don't pay me for shoes on YouTube. No, now I'm confused, Dave. No, don't like give me a donation on YouTube to buy shoes. That doesn't make any sense. No, the donations like on my channel, they do actually, they don't, I don't think they take that much if the donation is from a Canadian. It's from, well, like when it's from America, then they take like a really high percentage. But it's not as high when it's Canadians. But don't donate for shoes on here. That's separate, you know. You just email me, and then if I find shoes, we'll make an arrangement. You can pay me through PayPal, and I'll send you the link. I have a P.O. box, yeah. I just never give it out. Yeah, I don't have Cash App. I just have PayPal. But you can donate on PayPal, or you can donate on Patreon, or you can donate on YouTube if you don't mind that they take a cut. That's basically it. But the thing is with the donations on YouTube, I was a bit shocked when I realized they take such a cut, but I also realized that when people donate in your live stream, the robot, the bots, you know, that manage everything go, oh, this person's bringing money through their chat. So then it helps promote your channel, because this counts as engagement, right? So like if you donate $2, if many people are donating $2 on a live stream, the robot that's doing the algorithm reads that like there's engagement, and there's engagement that's bringing money in. So even if some of that goes to YouTube, it helps me enormously when people donate on here, because it keeps my channel like afloat and visible. You know what I'm saying? It keeps it alive. Okay, well, you want my P.O. box? I'll do it, but I don't want to like do it on here. I'll get my P.O. box on Patreon. I mean, anyway, talking about money makes my head spin, but whatever. One day I'll get it organized. Oh, I'm getting notices from Facebook. Anyway, I want to show you these shoes. Now I'm sweating. See, talking about money. I'm an artist, right? I'm not a money person still. You've never used PayPal before? Oh, like you just sign in, like you sign up for an account, and then you add like a credit card or whatever, and make sure you use like the two-step verifications so no one else can get in there, like you do with Gmail. You know, make sure you're secure. You add a credit card or a bank, whatever, and you just use it. You can pay for things. You can pay like when you buy things on Amazon, or you can send people money. It's kind of like online banking, but it's not your bank account. So I use it that way because it's, I feel like it's secure. I don't like the thing with the online banks, like, and I only use PayPal on my laptop. Is my email on Patreon? No, but I could put it there. But I think, like, well, when you message me on Patreon, it goes to my email as well. No, what I meant was, like, for anyone who's joined me on Patreon already for like $1 or whatever, you can like literally just donate $1. Then you have access to the feed. So if I put up my email address there, you get you know, you get my email address. And I also want to do Zooms, but the problem with the Zooms, if you're on my Patreon and you're wondering why I haven't done it, is I can't figure out how to organize it so that I can plan at a certain time, and then also have people show up, because like everybody has different schedules and it's kind of tricky. So I made a chat room and I was hoping we could talk in there and figure out when do you all want to show up for a Zoom. And I'm gonna have to just make a Zoom and just be like, hey guys, I'm doing a Zoom, and whoever shows up does, and whoever doesn't because that way it won't be just me talking. Like, you guys will all be in the Zoom room. I hate Zoom, but you know, we could do that. Anyway, so yeah, I got these shoes. They're super cool because I was walking around with my Uggs, and the only other thing I have are these really destroyed Doc Martens shoes. I have many of them, but they're all full of holes. And I need shoes. Like, I mean, I need jeans too. Like, I went to a party the other day. I had my nice shirt that I bought in Italy, the necklace that I wore. I had these nice boots that my friend gave me, and my hobo jeans, you know? And when Lara saw the picture of me, she's like, Sonia, what are you wearing? Your jeans, like, you look like a homeless person. I was like, well, like, I figure it's a look, you know? Anyway, I do need some things. So these are really nice. Come on, with these studs, they're so cool. They've got a little zipper here, and they're Steve Madden. And these are just for me, size 8. So those are going to be my shoes. And also, I guess I'm going to wear these, because I have some like fancy shoes with heels now. I have the pair of Michael Kors shoes that I found with the, yeah, with leopard print and the little gold toe. What do they call it? Paxton. Oh, they're so cute. And the other Michael Kors shoes that I found at the Rich People Thrift Store, I sold them for $40. Yeah, I sold them last week. Yeah, you can, no, you don't have to do monthly payments. You can make a one-time donation on Patreon. Let it go through. Like, you make your pledge at like whenever in the month, and at the end of the month you get charged or something like that. And then, like, assuming your credit card's good, it charges you, and then you could just cancel. People cancel their Patreon all the time. People join and they cancel. I've had people that joined, canceled, joined again, depending on if they have finances or not. Yeah, you're not like locked in for life. That would suck. It's like joining a cult, and I have to keep giving forever. The cult of Patreon. No, you can do what you want on there. So there, I got these low shoes to wear in the summer, and so that's it. Those are my 2 thrift hauls. Oh, you get charged at the beginning of the month. Okay, so it's at the beginning. No. Yeah, I love the Doc Martens shoes. Oh, thank you, Chinzia. Thanks. Oh my god, I feel so much better now. Let's hope it stays like that. Oh, look what I have in front of me. Oh my god, I have my hormone gel in front of me that I just got from the pharmacy. Because, you know what? I slacked off. You know, because I do it at night. And I'm like, oh man, I'm in bed and I'm comfortable and it's cold now and I don't feel like putting it on. I'm going to put it on right now. Because you know what? You know how women, like, when they get PMS, they get depressed? Well, the same thing happens if you're on hormones and you stop taking them because you're slacking. Yeah, that's my hormones. Oh my god, it's like, that's my HRT. Yeah, I'm putting my hormones on because I'm an old lady. I'm just joking there. Little disparaging disparaging old lady jokes. Yeah, that's my bioidentical hormone replacements, you guys. See how easy that is? You just rub it on. You don't have to swallow pills, because I hate swallowing pills. Because I think when I don't take it, I get depressed. It's like you get PMS. So I had it out here so I wouldn't forget, and I might as well just do it now. Here you go. Now I'm all hormoned up. Yeah, I didn't do my HRT. You never heard of it? What's the brand name? It's called Estrogel. This is what trans people use. But they're in trouble though, because they start out as men and they start messing with their body, putting this in there. Who knows what's going to happen to them? But for me, it's okay, because I had estrogen. I just lost it because like shoddy got old, and so now I can just replace it. But yeah, It's not herbal, it's prescription. But it's bioidentical, which is cool, I think. It's been so far so good. I only use one pump, so it's cheap. You know what's crazy too? I went and refilled my prescription. And usually I pay quite a lot for it. I pay like $80 for the progesterone, plus like $40 for this. But Quebec has a weird system where like there's a certain, you have like a deductible, but it's per month. And they told me I can fill more than one in a month. So I was like, well, I'll fill two. And since I take only half, it's going to last me 4 months. And I got charged $60 for 2 months worth. How is that possible? Yeah, it's for like night sweats and stuff, but I don't get them anymore because I take the hormones. I got charged $60. That's like $30 a month for all my stuff. And I was like, that's not normal. And then I realized, oh, it's because of the deductible. How is that possible? I guess it is. So, lesson learned, try to get your prescriptions all in one shot. You pay less in Canada, well, in Quebec. So yeah, I didn't take my hormones for a couple days, and I think that I started feeling depressed. Like, remember when I had the falling out with my friend? I was depressed then. That was after Christmas. I was like in a horrible depression for a couple of weeks. I had sad feet. I guess sad feeling in my feet. Hormones scare you? Yeah, but you know what's even scarier? Being a woman and losing your natural hormones. It would be like if you lost your thyroid hormone, like things don't go well. You lose your estrogen, your bones get weaker. I already have osteopenia. Everybody was telling me just go through menopause naturally and you'll come out on the other end, you'll be fine, and it's not true. I screwed up my bones with that. It's not osteoporosis, but it already weakened my bones, probably shrunk my brain. I used to be smarter, I think. And it just made me feel like crap. I gained a bunch of weight. What I showed you before, the sausage, that's menopause weight. Like, you cannot get rid of it. You can drive yourself crazy. I basically don't even eat all day. I don't even eat until like dinner. I'll have like maybe a couple pieces of toast or a bit of yogurt. By dinner time, I'm starving. And even with that, imagine, I still can't get rid of the sausage. So yeah, it's worse if you don't take hormones. Are you on HRT though, Susie? If your bones are going bad? I'm supposed to take vitamin K, but I have a thing where I don't like to swallow pills. I mean, unless they get me really high. No, just kidding. Just kidding. I mean, there was a time, you know, I had no problem swallowing those pills. But that was a long time ago, let's just say. You know, the excuse is that was the 90s. And people are like, oh, like I was at this party with my friend the other day. And we were talking about how this whole thing with the LGBTQ movement and like how it's really weird because back in the 90s, like we used to all party with gay people and we used to do gay stuff and go to the gay clubs. And my friend goes, I did a lot of gay shit. And I was like, yeah. And he's like, that was the 90s. And it was like, seriously, in the 90s, like people did all kinds of stuff. I didn't know he did gay stuff, but whatever. He used to cross dress, but he's not trans. He's not even a drag queen. He just, like, we used to dress him up and take him out to the village. I mean, it was the 90s, you know? So, yeah, speaking of 90s, though, I think we did a lot of crazy things back then. I don't think people are like that now. Everything is all, like, squeaky clean and sanitized. Back then, we used to party in the village all the time because they had the best music. We partied with the gay people all the time. And we used to dress up my straight friend like he was, like, in drag, you know? And he's straight. Oh my god, and we were such posers. And we just said, yeah, it was the 90s. And those gay folks, like, they were totally cool. They were not, there was none of this, like, oh, my pronouns. We used to hang out with drag queens all the time. Do you get, well, it's because, it's not because we were gay. It's because, you know, the whole, like, 1990s rave scene and the club kids and all that? Do you guys know about that? You know what I mean about club kids? That's what we were. I was a club kid, basically, back in the day. You're far from straight. Well, yeah, we were the club kids. And I was someone's girlfriend, though. Like, I wasn't a good enough club kid in my own right, other than I was very beautiful. My boyfriend was like, we were always on the guest list. We were always like VIP room. Like, we didn't have to wait in line. You know, like when you're waiting at a club and these like really good looking people show up and they go in straight and they go up to the VIP room. That was us. You were a club kid? Yeah, so we were like kind of like given the VIP treatment here. And the reason was that my boyfriend, Chris, was an excellent breakdancer. Oh my God. Like that was like one of the reasons I was so in love with him. He was just an incredible breakdancer. He would just blow everyone's mind. And I was just the beautiful girl that came with him. So we got the VIP treatment. And in there it was a lot of gay people and a lot of you know, drag and stuff like that. And they were cool though. It was not like it is now. Now it's like, it's really weird. I think it's like a bunch of people who are not really gay and they're not really trans and they're kind of just jumping on board and it's like this political thing. What happened to Chris? I don't know. I haven't seen him in a long time. Yeah. I was just saying to my friends, like, I don't know what happened to Chris. I don't know. I'll have to get in touch with him sometime. But man, was he a great dancer. He was so good. And sometimes we'd go party and then we'd come home and it was like really late. It'd be like 3 in the morning and he would dance for me. Like, oh, the break dancing. He was so good. Let me just check my battery. Okay. Yeah, he was amazing. And we had some really good times though. There was a lot of really good dancers back in the day and we used to love it. And we'd go to all the after parties. Chris. Yeah. Chris was like half Punjabi. So we used to joke that his name was, because his name was Kristen, which is like a, well, I don't want to give too much personal info about him, but his name was Kristen, which is like a German name because he was like half German and half Punjabi. So we used to joke and we'd call him Krishna and stuff like that. Oh, Krishna, my friend, you know. And he was cool. Oh no, like it's not like that. I mean, Chris is very dear to my heart, but it's not like no, I have a lot of admiration for him because he was an incredible dancer and he's extremely smart. The guy was so smart, like a math whiz, like, you know, one of these people that they're just, he's great at basketball, very good, very athletic, very good dancer, lots of rhythm. He's an excellent drummer. He was in a band and he was just such a great drummer and also extremely smart, very funny. He had so much going for him. Yeah. But you know, I mean, he had a lot going for him, but he wasn't my soulmate, let's put it that way. Yeah, he was very gifted. So we used to party in the village all the time because they played all the really good music, you know, like the really excellent house music, and we did a lot of these like underground raves and stuff like that. But the thing is, like, I never comment on this whole thing with the LGBTQ. But we were talking about it at the party and we we're like, something really weird is going on because we were totally involved in that scene and it was nothing like it is now. It wasn't this like political thing with universities. It was like an organic thing that was happening in the gay community and people were cool. And you didn't get this crazy stuff about the pronouns and it didn't happen. And actually we knew so many drag queens and none of them insisted on being called she. Except there was only one that we called she, and her name was Buddha, and she was exceptionally beautiful. I think she was like Vietnamese or something. And Buddha looked so much like a real girl that it didn't make sense to call her him. I mean, and this was like back in the days where people didn't medically try. It wasn't like a whole medicalized thing. They weren't medicalized, you know. They were, well, they drag queen and trans is not the same thing. So they were gay men that did drag, and there was, like I say, only Buddha. And I mean, yeah, technically she was a guy, but we called her she because she looked like a girl and she was like a girl. A very, very beautiful, very excellent dancer and a great drag performer. But I don't think Buddha would have ever been like, oh, my pronouns. Like nobody did that. That's new. It's really weird. It's like something that divides people. I don't know, man. Something weird going on. I think people are getting more and more confused. That's what I think. And my gay friend, Francois, he said to me, he actually said trannies. I'll just quote him, quote Francois. Francois said to me, the trannies ruined it for everyone because it was like the gay rights thing and the gay pride. It was meant to be because they were discriminated against for like getting jobs and getting housing you know, somebody found out you were gay and it was like you were in the doghouse, right? And they just wanted to have like the equal opportunity and just be accepted. And now it's become something that's like hostile. Yeah, it's different now. And that's what Francois said. He said like they've ruined it for everyone because like now people are hating them more in a way, you know, like you've got the university crowd that kind of almost like worshiping them and wanting to turn into them, and they're just confused young people. They're going to regret it later, I'm sure, a lot of them. And yet, like, I don't know, Francois said this like ruined it for everyone, and I kind of see how that is. And now apparently the village sucks. Like I was saying, oh, we should go down and party in the village like we used to, and they were like, no, it sucks. Like there's no more good clubs, and it's just lame now. So, and part of that is because they don't need a village anymore, because now, yes, they're like accepted everywhere, so they go wherever. Because back then the village was because you couldn't be with your boyfriend in a regular club, you have to go to the village. But now I guess you don't have to go to the village. I lived in the village at one point. Yeah, and I like this entire time, like people have been talking about all this stuff, and I just kept quiet about it. I was like, well, I don't want to get into it. But the thing is, you know, Lady Liberty, you're saying the tide has turned. I'm getting the feeling that it's going to start turning the other way. You know, like for a while, it's really weird. I can't put my finger on it exactly what they've done, but it's like they've weaponized it, sort of, and they've just, yeah, the internet, they've weaponized it in a way like they see all the things where they're on the surface they're promoting tolerance and acceptance. What those things, those movements, what they tend to do though is to some degree they backfire. Like there'll be people that were never bothered by whatever minority group it was, but once this like gains momentum and it generates also like a hostility towards people who are not in the group, whatever group it is, then the people who are not in the group start feeling more hostile to that minority group, you know? And I'm a libertarian, right? So I think everyone should have equal rights and be equally respected and like just live their way and do their thing. That's just how I think. But I noticed concerningly that it seems to generate actually more animosity. Like some people will be drawn into supporting and protecting this minority rights of whatever group it is. And on the other hand, it creates more like, it antagonizes people at the same time because of the hostility that's coming from inside the group. You know what I'm saying, Susie? Because back in the day, it wasn't like that, you know, but something's changed, you know. Because the point was like, you know, because trans people get murdered a lot and stuff like that. A lot of the time that's because they have to work as sex workers to pay for their surgeries that they have so that they can pass, which is, the whole thing is sad, you know. And they get murdered a lot. Sex workers get murdered a lot in general. I mean, there's more risk, right? I mean, if you ever go and look at like, you know, these serial killers and like who are they coming after, you'll notice there's a lot of prostitutes on the list. So that right there puts them at risk. So in a way, it's like, it's crazy because now it's like, if you look like a woman, now you are a woman. But that also means that if you're a natural woman, but you don't look woman enough, does that mean you're not a woman? You know, like if I don't look feminine enough, does that mean that now I'm not really a woman? You know, because I've even seen that happening. It just messes with everyone's head. So it's, you know, in a way, if you wanted to protect trans people so they don't get murdered so much, what you could do is like make them not have to do sex work, you know. Respect and acceptance, yeah, but things have changed, says Dawn. And that's the thing, yeah. It is dividing, exactly, Susie. It's like, instead of bringing people together and more acceptance, it's creating more division. And yeah, that's what we were all talking about that the other night. We're like, that it's so weird, like how now everybody talks about gay people and trans people, and yet it's like people like hate on them more because there's so much hostility. Like you see these videos of people like screaming about, I mean, you know, yeah, there's like hostility coming from inside. So this, and I, like, again, like I said, I think there's a lot of young people that are drawn into it that are not really trans, you know, and they're confused. I keep seeing stories of people detransitioning. You know what's interesting about it? There's quite a high percentage that are autistic, because autistic people tend to have difficulty with the concept of self in general. Myself included, when I was younger. It's a bit wishy-washy, this concept, anyway, of yourself and your own identity. You just kind of exist. You don't have this very concrete sense of your identity. I have more of it now. But I'm not sure if that's the reason why, but apparently there's a proportionally high percentage of autistic people who identify as like non-binary or whatever. And I think the thing is that it's not that they're really non-binary. Like they need to give themselves time, because give them a few years and they're going to realize that it was just that they didn't have a very strong concrete self-concept in general. I mean, you get autistic people who are also, into that whole, like, I'm really a cat or I'm a wolf. There's more of that with autistic people, and I understand it. I do. But it's not cool to take autistic teenagers who are going through this kind of a stage and to tell them that they're trans and to medicalize them. That's where I think it's really screwed up. That's where I draw the line. Because that's what's happening. It's no longer like just that very small minority that from the very beginning said, oh, I'm in the wrong. I like when you have a 4-year-old that insists they're a boy, or the other way around, and they were always like that. Now you're taking people who are just going through their adolescent identity crisis, telling them that their problems will be solved, they transition genders. How screwed up is that? And medicalizing them. And once you get on that, you're going to have effects forever. You don't just like reverse it. Your fertility, even the puberty blockers affects your bone growth. And then for what? So you can pass for the rest of your life? I mean, well, let's hope you pass, or it's going to just absolutely suck. And then you have to keep taking these hormones. Like, I have to keep taking this every day just for my menopause. But they're going to have to keep doing that. And they have problems. And the hormones is only one thing. And it's like your body is made a certain way. Now you're unbalancing it by adding hormones that didn't belong there. And you think you're not going to have medical problems. And in Sweden was leading the charge with this whole thing. I didn't know I was going to go in this direction, but whatever. I've had it on my mind for a long time. Sweden was leading the charge, and there was this whole myth that if they don't transition, they're going to kill themselves. Oh, shouldn't have said that. They're going to, maybe the bot already caught it, but whatever. Sorry about that. That they have to do it or they won't survive. It turned out that that wasn't true, and the reason they had those feelings was just from lack of social support. So that was a myth. So now Sweden has like reversed it, and they're not doing it anymore. So that's what I was going to say. Like, I think the tide is going to turn, and we're going to come out of this and go, this was a madness. This was a complete madness that we were, like, all of a sudden, there's all these, like, teenage girls that don't want to be girls anymore. They're going through this adolescent identity crisis. A lot of them are autistic. All of a sudden, they don't want to be girls anymore. And people are like, yep, you're trans. Here's your drugs. Here's your hormones, right? And medicalizing them. We're going to come out of this and be like, we were gripped with a madness. Like, what did we do? Those poor kids. It can't, yeah, like GTO says, big money and big money in flipping. But, yeah, there's money in it, but I don't think they're going to be able to keep this up for very long, because now we're starting to see what happens to them down the road. Like that whole Jazz Jennings thing. Now we're starting to see like what happened to her. I'm going to call her her. She's lived her whole life identifying as a female. I'm not going to say he, but she's definitely like suffered a lot of problems, the results are starting to come in, and there's a whole bunch of like medical side effects. I can't remember what they all are, but they're like cardiovascular and brain effects and like all, you're unbalancing your body, I mean, it's got to be tough, but I think it should be reserved for people who truly have this gender dysphoria and really like they feel better once they transition. It's a very small percentage. But what they're doing now is they're like brainwashing kids to think they have this problem when they don't. I don't think they do. I think that they're teenagers so easily influenced. I mean, really. You know how many tomboys there were? I was kind of a tomboy. I mean, I was an Aspie, right? Imagine if somebody said that to me and put me on some kind of crazy hormones. Oh my God. I just think, like, remember when you were a teenager, how easily influenced you were? Oh my God, and the surgery, Annette. that it's so barbaric what they do to people's private part. I was kind of a tomboy. I mean, I wasn't a girly girl. I was always barefoot. I was always dirty and whatever, you know. Wasn't exactly a tomboy. I mean, I wasn't girly, but I was more like just kind of, I don't know, different, right? No, yeah, I went around quite tomboy for a long time. I know it's a disaster. Like the surgery that they do, like the one for male to female, like it's like it wants to close and you have to keep dilating it, and it's sometimes it really doesn't work out well at all. It's a disaster. I mean, it's, you know, and then for the women, they have two ways they do it. One with the flap, and they like create this like banana looking thing, and it's like, oh my God, no. And the other one is kind of, I think it's sort of better. It's like you end up with like a sort of micro apparatus, you know, but at least it's kind of natural. Uh, but you know, I watched quite a bit of like documentaries at one point about this whole issue. And you know what I think was interesting? Like the lady boys in Thailand, like they don't, like they know that they're not really female. They call themselves lady boys, right? And they don't all get that surgery, eh? Like they can go through this transition, and yes, they use some hormones. They're not really they're not really regular men, that's for sure. They're not 100% women either, but they're happy like that. They seem to, you know, they have like a third category or whatever. They don't get the surgery, but because they use hormones early, their private parts don't grow. But it's like a cultural thing, and I thought, why can't they just do that? You know, I mean, I don't know if they really have dysphoria about seeing that, but boy, you better be sure. And the reason it doesn't grow is because they they can't have kids. It doesn't grow because they start hormones early. Some of them would get access to estrogen at like age 14, but they look pretty good, you know. But they live a different life, eh? They work as like entertainers and in the sex industry. And it's not like they go turn into lady boys and then they go work at the bank or whatever. You know, they do have like it's like the hijras in India. They're entertainers and sex workers. And these are poor countries where people are really desperate for money. So they have a lady boy or a hijra in the family, and they bring in money and they share it with the family. But they're prostitutes, basically. You know? It's different than like, you know, our situation over here. I don't know, something really weird is going on, but I think the tide is going to turn and we're going to be like, yeah, that was crazy. What were we doing? And I feel bad for the kids. I mean, Gunner's known some kids that like got sucked into that. That's why it became kind of personal for me. And I was like researching it quite a bit because he knew one person in particular. She's autistic and she got pulled into that. Oh, there I am. And she started to transition, and she was an absolutely beautiful girl. And she went on testosterone, and she wants to look like a guy, but she doesn't look like a guy. She just lost a lot of her beauty right now. That's where she's at. Because she has a real Barbie doll figure with a thigh gap and everything. So she's wearing a trench coat and like loose pants, and she does not look like at all a guy. She just looks like a really frumpy girl. You know? Like her voice started to go down. Her face actually just looked puffy. I guess her face will change, but I mean, really, you know, imagine she's diagnosed with a number of developmental and mental disorders, including autism. And they thought it was okay to put her on testosterone at the age of like 17. To me, it seems absolutely crazy. I don't think something's not right. How do you let someone like that make this kind of decision? Anyway, things have certainly changed. Yeah. Years later, what have we done? Yeah, I think they're going to be looking at that. And that's why, like, we were talking about this at the party. We were talking about, like, how we used to party in the village and the gay scene and the drag queens and all that. And it was like, it was cool. It was all adults, first of all. And it was fine. Like, it was totally different than it is now. And we're like, what the heck? You know, what happened, right? It's very strange. I kind of think that people who are very straight and have never been involved in that scene, maybe they don't realize how much has changed. They don't know what's going on. You know, like, you know, Jill and Bob who live in the suburbs with their white picket fence or whatever, or like the kids that go to university that they were never involved in the scene, so they don't really know that this isn't normal. This is Susie, you agree? Yeah, a lot of people go to Mexico. Yeah, they go to Mexico for all kinds of surgery. Not only that, Susie, you agree with me like that the whole scene has changed and like something's really strange? It's very weird. It's just got, it seems so dark, you know. It seems like it can't, nothing good can come out of this. Something's really wrong. Maybe it's like birth pains, and then eventually like, you know, maybe there will be a day where if you look like you're not like a regular looking man, or you're not a regular looking woman, nobody will like hold it against you, and you can still get the job, and they'll make you a cake for your wedding, and they'll rent you an apartment. They won't give you a hard time, which would be great. And maybe there'll be a day where you can be a woman who has, I don't know, PCOS and has hair on her face and can go about her day, and people will just be like, yeah, that's okay, you know, and just accept you the way you are. Maybe because I'm autistic, so I have an appreciation for accepting people who are different. Oh, your grandson decided he was gay and got a girlfriend, and she's a lesbian. Okay. Last Generation said, very cool videos on the Club Kids scene days. Oh my gosh. I haven't seen it, but there was a documentary. I think it was called 24-Hour Party People. And it's so crazy because that guy, I forget what his name was, but there was this like big ringleader who started all this stuff in New York. And he ended up like killing some people or something. Let me know if you know his name. I can't remember his name. Michael something? I'm not sure. But anyway, apparently the people that I knew here knew that guy, and they were trying to bring that scene here. So it was like the real deal, you know. But I was only involved in that in like the sort of early to mid 90s, because after that the music changed and people started doing all kinds of crazy drugs. Michael Alec, that's the guy. Was I hit on my girls? I don't remember. Only my girlfriend. Yeah, Michael Alec. Yeah. No, I don't remember being hit on by girls. But I usually was there with my friend who was a girl, so we went together, so nobody hit on us. But yeah, and that was some crazy stuff, man. Michael Alec and those people, it was like, I don't know what it was that brought them to that point. That it ended up with like, it turned super dark, but I left like before it got like bad. I don't know what happened up here finally. Yeah, and I don't even like to like go and like revisit and like watch those videos. Like I can have my nice memories of like the great after parties that we used to have, and how much fun it was, and how much fun the dancing and the music was so good. And like I remember being in this like after party one night with the Hardkiss brothers spinning, and it was just like, oh, it was so good. Oh my gosh, mind blowing. And watching Chris break dance, and like it was all, you know, those were good memories. And then I left, and like I don't know, some crazy stuff happened after. I wasn't there for it. Oh yeah, crazy stuff happened up here too, but I wasn't around. I was only around while it was all good vibes, you know. And it was good vibes. People would be dancing and they just stop and look at each other, and they just hug, and they'd be all sweaty, and you don't even know the other person. Okay, somebody was asking me about overstimulation. No, because what I've discovered was that I have trouble with the noise when it's coming in my ears, but when the vibrations are coming through my feet into my whole body, it all like sort of syncs. It like links up. Like I think that the way people experience music, usually like I only feel that way when my foot is on the speaker or on the floor and it's coming through the floor, and I have no problem with the music. Isn't that kind of neat? Nah, no, strobe lights don't bother me. Only LEDs and fluorescent, the ones that flicker. That's horrible. No, strobe lights didn't really bother me. I mean, I put earplugs in, you know. I didn't have, yeah, I always had earplugs if I go to a concert or something. Yeah, and Rosie Gunner hates that. Like he says that they push this stuff at school, and it's made him like not want to go to school. He said they had a substitute teacher that came in, and the first thing they did, I'm going to say they, because that's what they say, first thing they did was they handed out a paper and they asked all the kids what their pronouns were and something like what their orientation was. And Gunnar feels violated when people ask about like his orientation. He feels like, why would you ask me that? Like, I have my orientation too. I have my preferences. Nobody asked me. Does anybody ask you? Why would they ask you about that? It's really weird, don't you think? Everybody has their preferences. Since when do we ask each other about something that's so personal? I mean, if you want to be gay and you're openly gay, then you be open. But why would they ask that? And why would they ask the kids that? And why would they ask them their pronouns? Because that kind of implies that there's a good chance there's like a bunch of people there that... Hi. I'm wrapping it up soon. That there's a bunch of people there that maybe don't use normal pronouns. You know what? Here's... Okay, and so someone to rant about this? No, I never ran into RuPaul. I don't think so. You know, I don't know about the even grooming. I think it's messing with their heads. It's deconstructing your identity at the most basic level. That's what I think. It's confusing you about who you are at the most basic level. The first thing that they tell your parents when you're born, it's a boy or it's a girl. Now let's even confuse people about that. I mean, you know, again, people who really have an issue with it, they usually know. They don't usually need the teacher to like bring it up. Usually they're bringing it up and people are telling them, no, that's not possible. I used to see RuPaul in San Francisco. Yeah. Yeah, so they asked them that, and then he says that a lot of people wrote down ridiculous stuff, like, I can't remember, like the names of those, you know, the Transformer cars or whatever. Like they wrote down like ridiculous things for their pronouns. But see, I studied English, right? And a pronoun is something that you use in place of the person's name, but we have a limited amount of pronouns. We have he or she, and for plural it's they. We also have it if it's an inanimate thing. You know, when people are using bee and fairy, those are not pronouns. Those are nouns. Those are not pronouns, they're nouns. Okay, so that's totally screwed up right there. I mean, in a way, like if they wanted to invent a new one that was called like Z or Zer, but you can only have one. Like you can't have like zillions of pronouns. It becomes nonsensical, and it's a burden on everybody to like remember your like fanciful title that you want to go by. It's ridiculous. This isn't gonna last. That's what Auntie Sonia thinks. That's not gonna last. I mean, you could have he and she, or you could have they. Oh, good night, love. I'm gonna have to go pretty soon. I've been here a long time. This isn't gonna last. There's no way. This nonsense, like there was somebody clown and clown self, and like that's not a pronoun. That's a mental disorder. Clown self. That's ridiculous. Let's call it what it is. Come on. Oh yeah, but that's like we. I guess we is a pronoun. But when you use, what do they call that? When you use je, like I, it's gender neutral. So, oh, thank you so much, love. Thanks for the tip. Appreciate it. Yeah, like when you say I or je, it's neutral. It's only when you get to the third person that it's a problem. Only the third person. But all this invention of all these extra pronouns, it's ridiculous. And I've been sitting here patiently, keeping my mouth shut, waiting to see how this is going to blow over, you know? Yeah, but on is gender neutral, but you don't use on for third person. You use on for like we. And nous is also gender neutral. Oh, right. You mean like when you say, well, no, like when you say on est venu, like in a general sense, or on va à la bibliothèque, but it means we, it's plural, you know? Good night, love. It's not third, it's third person. No, it's like a replacement for nous. Like you say, you know, the French in France, they say nous sommes, as in we are, but here in Quebec, we'll say on est, we are. It's on is, are you French? Are you Cajun? Maybe it's different in Cajun French. Are you French? Seriously? Anyway, no, it's like saying we, or like one, like when you say one goes to the library, you know, uh, but it's not referring to like a third person. It's like in a general sense, one takes the bus. How does one get downtown? One takes the bus. Comment on va au centre-ville? On prend l'autobus. See, that's how you use it. But you can't use it for a specific person. It's general or it's plural for yourself. Yourself plural, right? So we don't have, oh, you don't have any French blood. Do you speak French? Or are you giving me French lessons? They, them, more than one. Well, anyway, I mean, what can you do? But this, I don't know. I think it's going to it's going to turn the corner. It's going to come to an end or something pretty soon. It's starting to backfire. And people get tired of these causes too. They'll have one cause and they'll fall out of favor and they'll have another one. Like what happened to BLM? Like nobody talks about it anymore. What's going to happen to the trans people when their day in the sun is over? And who's going to replace them? Who's next? I don't know, man. You take a guess. Who's next? Who's going to be the cause du jour or the minority group du jour? Let's hope that they do a better job with them so it doesn't backfire, you know, like it did with the last couple of movements. Pendulum is swinging. Yeah, especially as like all the medical results are coming in. I think it's going to turn a corner even faster than that. I think it's going to burn out because they just went so hard with it. People are getting sick of it. I mean, look, even me, I'm talking about it now. When I was quiet about it this whole time. Well, I mean, I'm tired of the politicization of it. You know what? This is what they did with other minority. They politicized minority groups, like for their own benefit, their own purposes. They're doing the same thing now. They did it before with the previous election because they wanted Trump out. Politicized that. Did nothing for them after. They don't care. They're like, thanks. And then they just chew them up, spit them out, move on. Thanks for the help. Screw you now. And they're going to do the same thing with these people too. Oh, Lady Liberty speaks French. The Cajun doesn't speak French. But he laughs in Spanish. Oh, she. Sorry, you're a she. I know, Rosie. Kids are always like that. Okay, well, I'm going to have to go put Gunner to bed. Anyway, it's been fun talking to you guys. Thanks for stopping in. And I'll keep you updated about my surgery. Thanks for all your support. And I love you guys. But I really got to go. I got to put Gunner to bed. Thanks a lot. Love you. God bless. And I'll see you soon. Bye, guys.